Hello and welcome to another episode. In today's video, I want to look into setting boundaries and feeling good enough to set boundaries. Setting or putting yourself into a position where you're actually saying no to things, no to people, no to what they offer you, right? No to situations, people, friends. Maybe you don't want to meet them anymore. And there seems to be this stigma that when someone offers us something, we have to agree on it. It's extremely uncomfortable for many people of us to just say no. Instead of just saying no, we bring excuses such as, oh, I'm really sorry, tonight I actually have another dinner, or I already have an appointment, or, I feel a little sick, or blah, 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 whatever the occasion is, right? While actually, we should learn to say, no, as a full sentence, as a full and complete and honest conversation. And you know what? That should be acknowledged without any questions, without, oh, but you should come, you should do this or do that. And let me give you another example. Oh, actually, I'm first going to do this. My name is Patricia. I'm a life coach and I help people to raise their awareness towards their life goals. Now, what does that mean, right? It's about being precise in the way you communicate, being precise in what energy you're showing up, right? How do you show up? Are you aware of that? Most people are not. And this channel is here to support you on that level where you can learn a little bit more about yourself, learn more to stand your ground and speak up, speak your truth, please, right? Please, because the more we are training that and the more people understand how important it is, not only to be more happy, but also to enjoy life more, right? To really go into your own truth of what you really want to do in this life without all the stigmas of how we should do things, how what we should feel, right? Don't feel this, don't feel that, be in this box, you should do this, you should do that. I mean, we have all been there, we all know it. And the whole thing is that this whole game of how we grew up and what we have learned is still going on. And so I believe we need to really, really work on us massively to not repeat the same things again, right? Not to do the same things that maybe was useful once and now it's not anymore. And actually, this takes effort. So that was probably the longest introduction ever. Anyways, thanks so much for showing up and doing a little bit of this work. So I have said we are going to look into another example. I have a good one for you. In the field, I used to work in the banking field. It's very, very common that you go for an apéro. And the apéro, of course, usually involves alcohol. Now, people are using this to connect with people. They're using this kind of, or this type of connection to get closer, to find closeness, to make maybe more friends, or they use it to, or they use it to do some business, right? It's very, very common that you go for a drink and you do this, this, and this. And you see, there is this one thing about treating us nice because we have worked Monday to Friday and now you go for an apéro. Some of us already go for Monday and, already need a treat there. My question to you is, Why do you need that alcohol? Number one. Number two, is it really true that you connect better when you drink alcohol, especially with your work colleagues? Is it really making you feel better afterwards? How many of us have actually seen situations we would have rather stayed away from because of alcohol? Raise your hand, right? Now, there are certain things that alcohol brings up. Generally speaking, emotional stuff, right? Things we haven't really treated. They make us feel more light. We feel we can talk to people more. But see, the problem is that if you can talk to people more in that state, you will not be able to talk to people more when you are not in that state. And instead of practicing taking alcohol or drinking alcohol, why not choosing to have better conversations when you're sober, right? When we are connecting to people, it's not because of the alcohol. Seriously, you're not connecting better to people because of the alcohol, and we are not getting buddies because of the alcohol, right? It's kind of a weird idea, this whole alcohol thing. And I used to really practice this. I was in the game, definitely. And many of us are, because it's a socially acceptant, right? Acceptance. It's very accepted and very well seen, right? And as soon as you actually practice to say no, people are totally confused. Why aren't you drinking alcohol? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you blah, 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 blah? Because you are not normal, right? Because you are outside of the box. Now everyone talks about, hey, be outside of the box. Well, this is outside of the box. It's not accepted at all, right? So that's kind of funny, right? It's kind of funny because it goes to a place where, I'm not going to accept that you are not drinking because I'm drinking, and then I feel bad that you are not drinking because I know I actually shouldn't drink. And then this whole thing goes on. But see, that is unfortunately their issues. And when you decide to, this is just really just an example, it could be anything. When you feel there is a strong urge to say no, I believe that making things up why you can say no is not really saying no, and is not really helping you to show up for yourself, because ultimately you're lying, right? You're lying why you don't want to go there. And I believe being closer to the truth is always in your best interest, not only for yourself, but also for others. See, we can feel when people are lying. We can sense that. So it's also very common that you are saying something like, yeah, I have already an appointment, or I already have this or that, and this is why I cannot come. So sad. I mean, aw, you know, instead of giving them a smile and actually say, listen, this is not for me. I don't want to do it. I don't want to come. I don't want to show up. And I don't have to, because it's my decision. And I can decide if I want to come or not. You can make the offer to go there, to do this or that. I can take responsibility and say no, because I don't feel like doing it, right? And there are so many people who then feel so uncomfortable to do that. And I tell you this, when you're saying no to something, you are not here to wait for their approval that your no is okay. You're going into a conversation already knowing that this might cause a little bit of a concern on the other side. Whatever is going on there is not your issue. You see, you can say no in the most kindest way, and people will be upset with you choosing not to do something. And it's very interesting how people then take this personal, and they feel like you're not in this group anymore, and you're not, maybe the team spirit or whatsoever, right? And they get really caught up in that. I believe in transparency. I believe in honesty. And I believe in being loyal to myself. I believe if something isn't true for myself, I don't have to do it because then I would make you happy. I believe that this is wrong on all levels because I'm giving you something, but what is with me? What is with me? Why should I put myself on the second to make you happy? Why would I do that? There's no reason for that. Zero. Because you can go. You can do that. You can choose to go to this party. You can choose to go, I don't know, in a book club or whatever, and I don't want to go. And I can say no. But yeah, it's a stigma that people offer something and you may not like it. And this can also be at work. This can be in your private life with a partnership maybe, where you say, this is not for me. And if you understand it or if you're agreeing to that, that doesn't really matter because this is a hard line for me. This is not even open for discussion. It takes a lot of courage to stand there in front of so many people. Sometimes it even takes a lot to say no to someone we really like, or we feel that we are losing something if we are saying no, right? If we feel that, maybe then people look at me weird and I don't know if I can live with the consequences of that. See, the problem is, or the good thing is, if they cannot handle your no, they will not respect you in other areas too. If you want to be respected, you have to open up to being uncomfortable to share your no. Because that also gives the other person the approval, the permission to say no to things that you offer, right? It makes the whole thing, the whole connection, really, really smooth. And those people who cannot stand your honesty, those people will just go away. But the good thing is that you don't want to have them around anyways. So there's not really an issue, right? There is not really such a thing as this is an issue because it's not. It's actually helping you to not be with people who are disrespectful, really, are disrespectful. It's really, really disrespectful if you don't understand or don't accept someone saying no and trying to convince someone and trying to get to someone you just don't agree on. You don't agree to be in that situation and you don't need to be convinced. You see, you don't. And there is absolutely zero reason for anyone to cross that boundary. Zero. I would really say it's a no tolerance. I have zero tolerance for people who step over my boundaries. And I mean, doing it once, doing it twice, is okay. You know, sometimes you get to know someone and they may not know how it looks like when you show that and when you say that, and maybe they're not used to that. But after that, it gets really, really tricky to get along with me anymore because I'm done. Like I lose interest in having a connection with you at all. And I prefer people who actually say no way more often because they're tired, because they don't want to, because they have a lot to do, because they had a lot to do the past week and they don't want to show up tonight, right? Um, Whatever the case is, a no should always be on the line where it is okay. And if there are people around, people up who cannot see that and who don't accept your own boundaries, stay away. Seriously, this is one of my absolute red flags. Absolute red flags. If people don't see this, if people don't accept that, it's not on you. And I mean, you're on my channel, so you must be here because you want to have some kind of improvement in your own life. And if this is the case, and I believe it is, please don't be around people like that who don't respect you, who don't honor your no. That's not okay. That's not cool. You're way enough to say no. And that should be absolutely acknowledged. All right? Thanks so much for being here, and I speak soon to you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.